साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिगणसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणलिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नाम श्रेष्ठं मनुमपि शशिपुत्रमत्र स्वरूपं रूपं तस्याग्रजमुरुपुरीं माधुरीं गोष्ठवाटिं राधाकुण्डं गिरिवरमहो राधिका माधवाशा प्राप्तो यस्य प्रजलकृपया श्रीगुरुं तं नतोऽस्मि। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। First of all, offer my millions of obeisances. Lotus feet of Asmade Guru Pad Padma, Nikula Presh Jayat Guru, Shri Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Trendi Sannyasi Shri Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Dandi Maharaj, नाम निष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्ध दास प्रभु जी और समस्त वैष्णव के चरणों में मैं यथा के दंड प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। So today we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, 19th verse. Yada sharanam atmanam aikshata shrantavajinam astram brahma shiro mene atmatranam dijatmaja. Yada, when, asharanam, without being alternatively protected. Atmanam, his own self. Aikshata saw. Shrantavajinam, the horses being tired. Astram, weapon. Brahmashira, the topmost or ultimate nuclear. Mene, applied. Atmatranam, just to save himself. Bija Atmaja, the son of a Brahmana. When the son of a Brahmana, Ashwatthama, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the nuclear, outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. You'll see here that Ashwatthama, he saw that there is no other recourse to protect himself. So he simply thought, I will use Brahmastra to protect myself. This was actually a final recourse. Generally speaking, such weapon is not utilized unless there is a great need. Therefore, generally speaking, such weapons are dangerous. In the realm of ancient lore, a tale unfolds of Ashwatthama, son of the Brahman, bold. His weary horses, exhausted from their stride, he pondered protection, nowhere to hide. In his desperate plight, he reached within for the weapon of power, the ultimate kin, the Brahmastra, a force potent and dire, a nuclear weapon aflame with fire. He glimpsed Arjuna, drawing near. No choice remained, his heart filled with fear. With resolve, he embraced the Brahmastra's might, a weapon destructive, a blinding light. As the ancient scriptures, we still relay of warfare transcending in a different way. The Brahmastra, symbol of power untold, a glimpse into warfare both new and old. In this mystic realm where mantras reside, a subtle warfare where secrets hide. Beyond the physical, the senses and might, mantras hold sway in realms of light. In a world of vibrations, sacred and divine, mantras whisper secrets like a sacred shrine. From the ancient past to the present day, their power endures, gliding our way. You see here that such powerful. So in the ultimate issue, only when there is no alternative, the nuclear weapon called Brahmastra is applied. The word Vijatmajaha, what is the word? Vijatmajaha, the son of a Brahman, is significant here because Ashwatthama, although the son of Dronacharya, was not exactly a qualified Brahman. The most intelligent man is called a Brahman, and it is not a hereditary title. Ashwatthama was also formerly called the Brahma Bandhu or the friend of a Brahmana. Being a friend of a Brahmana does not mean that one is a Brahman by qualification. A friend or son of a Brahmana, when fully qualified, can be called a Brahman and not otherwise. Since Ashwatthama's decision is immature, he is purposely called here the son of a Brahmana. Yada sharanam atmanam aikshata shrantavajinam astram brahma shiro mene atmatranam vijativi. When the son of the Brahman, Ashwatthama, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. Yada sharanam atmanam aikshata shrantavajinam astram brahma shiro mene atmatranam dijatmaja. So this dijatmaja, the word used here is dijatmaja, the son of a Brahmana. Dijatmaja means son of a Brahmana. He is not addressed as a Brahmana because the actions are different. Unless one acts as a Brahman, he is not accepted as a Brahman. This is the Vedic system. Lakshanam. Yasya yad lakshanam proktam pumso varna vivanjakam yadanyatrapi drishyeta tattenaiva vinirvishe. Lakshanam. It refers to the characteristics or symptoms. One must exhibit the qualities of a Brahmana in order to be recognized as such. Mere claims of having a prestigious father do not automatically bestow the qualifications upon oneself. Such subsequent generation cannot inherit the qualities of their ancestors in this manner. However, from a societal perspective, we may show respect based on such considerations. For instance, Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, was spared capital punishment due to his father's stature. Arjuna initially intended to kill him, but Draupadi, mindful of the grief his mother would experience, advised against it. Thus, he was spared from the punishment. When Ashwatthama realized that he had no means of protection while being chased by Arjuna, he resorted to using the Brahmastra, the ultimate weapon. Similar to modern nuclear weapons, the Brahmastra releases a tremendous amount of destructive energy. Upon Ashwatthama's deployment of the Brahmastra, a powerful radiation emitted immense heat, causing great distress. Krishna informed Arjuna about the source of the heat and guided him in neutralizing its effects. While modern civilization has discovered nuclear weapons, they have yet to find a way to counteract their devastating potential. In ancient times, combatants possessed knowledge of counteracting specific weapons. The opposing party would exhibit their expertise and present a countermeasure. This was the essence of warfare, where the failure of one side would lead to their defeat and the cessation of hostilities. Ashwatthama's desperate recourse to the Brahmastra reflected his sense of hopelessness. It is said that the Germans, including Hitler, had discovered nuclear weapons but refrained from using them due to the immense devastation they would cause. This demonstrates some level of human consideration. Though Hitler is widely criticized, if this account is accurate, it raises questions about his restraint in not deploying nuclear weapons. Subsequently, the Americans, took possession of this knowledge and employed it in Japan. The historical narrative is that as we have experienced, nuclear weapons pose significant dangers. Similarly, the Brahmastra is an incredibly potent and perilous weapon. Another weapon mentioned is Shabdavedi Ban, which functions based on sound. Once an arrow is released, it will track and kill the enemy upon hearing even the slightest sound from them. Such weapons are mentioned in the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, referred to as Shabdavedi Ban. So the warfare of mantra is a subtle form of combat. In the present era, warfare predominantly relies on gross weapons. However, beyond the realm of gross weapons lies the domain of mantra warfare. Through the use of mantras, battles can be waged. This warfare operates at the level of mantras. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that the mind is more important than the senses. While we have discovered numerous weapons to be wielded by the senses, this remains at the gross level. Even the handling of nuclear weapons by scientists is done through the senses, not through mantras. The science of utilizing mantras for such purposes is yet to be explored by modern scientists. For instance, snake charming mantras still exist. Snake venom can be countered with specific medicines, which is one form of treatment. However, there is another kind of treatment involving mantras or herbal remedies to counteract snake bites. In India, there are individuals who possess knowledge of using mantras and herbs to control snakes, as mentioned by Chanakya Pandit. Even in our Mayapur, some Mohammedans possess the expertise to treat snake bites using herbs and mantras. As snakebite cases occasionally occur in the area, the power of mantras has been witnessed by several medical professionals in Lucknow, although the details of these experiences are extensive. Mantras possess inherent power, as even in the mundane world, they can produce tangible effects. This illustrates the subtlety of mantras. Now one can contemplate the tremendous potential of spiritual mantras. Indriyani parani ahu Indriyabhya param mana manasastu para buddhir buddhihi parasastu sa. Understanding based on gross perception, our senses, bodies, and direct sensory experiences is limited to the material realm. It encompasses what we see, touch, taste, and so on. Beyond this gross level is the mental platform where thoughts and intentions reside. Mantras also operate on this mental platform, slightly higher than ordinary intelligence. However, there exists a higher platform, the spiritual realm. If mantra can produce such remarkable effects on the material and mental levels, imagine its immense spiritual potency. The Hare Krishna mantra is entirely spiritual in nature. When chanted with spiritual enlightenment, it undoubtedly manifests its power. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. It will surely bring about triumph. This is why chanting is utmost important. This is why chanting is of utmost importance. Chanting is not an ordinary activity. As emphasized by Narottam Das Thakur, the sound vibration of chanting is not of this material realm. It transcends the realm of mundane sounds. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not a material sound. He is spiritual in nature. There is an inseparable and non-differentiated connection between Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and his holy name, Krishna. They are eternally one and the same without any distinction or separation. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasavigraha Nitya Shuddho Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Avimatva Nama Namina Chaitanya Madhya Lila 17.133. Just as Krishna is perfect, complete, untainted by material contamination, and eternal, so too is his holy name. It is pure, eternal, and beyond the confines of this material realm. When we sincerely chant the holy name from any offenses, we establish a direct connection with Krishna. There is no room for doubt. The holy name and the name are inseparable, for they are both complete and untainted entities. Krishna is Purna, complete, Shuddha, without material contamination. And Narottam Das Thakur, the enlightened poet, proclaims that the sacred name of Krishna has descended from the divine realm of Golok Vrindavan. It transcends the realm of material sound. It is not an ordinary vibration. Therefore, do not perceive it as mundane. To regard it as such is a perception aligned with the mentality of the infernal realm. It is akin to considering the deity as a mere stone or the spiritual master as an ordinary mortal. Similarly, to conceive of the holy name of the Lord as an ordinary auditory phenomena is to dwell in ignorance. However, those who are spiritually awakened do not entertain such limited notions. Alas, those who languish in hellish conditions confine themselves to such limited understanding. They delude themselves by worshipping what they deem as stone idols. They utter foolish words like Patthar pooje hari mile to main pooju pahad, meaning they worship a stone but find the Lord within. Such foolish rascals fail to grasp the truth. However, the reality is far from their perception. It requires a sharp intelligence. It requires a sharp intellect to comprehend how the Supreme Lord Krishna can manifest in a form visible to us and how he can manifest in the form of sound that we can hear. It is a manifestation for our benefit, not a material phenomena. Hence, Narottam Das Thakur asserts us that the congregational chanting of the holy name known as Harinam Sankirtan is the treasure of divine love from Goloka Vrindavan. Why then does this love does not awaken within our hearts? Do not consider Harinam Sankirtan as an ordinary vibration of this material world. Never entertain such thoughts. Recognize without delay that the Sankirtan, the joyous congregational chanting of Hare Krishna, represents Krishna himself and his eternal consort Radha. It symbolizes the divine union of Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, and Lakshmi Narayan. In essence, Hare Krishna signifies the Supreme Lord and his spiritual potency intertwined in blissful harmony. So, we address Hare, O energy, the spiritual energy of the Lord, and Krishna, O the Supreme Lord, Hare Ram, the same thing. Param Brahma, Ram means Param Brahma, Krishna means Param Brahma. So, what is the meaning of addressing Hey Krishna, Hey Radhe, Hey Ram? Why? There should be some meaning. So thus engage me in your service. That is taught by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau krupaya tava pada pankajastita sadrisham vichintaya. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau krupaya tava pada pankajastita sadrisham vichintaya. Thus we invoke the sacred names Hare Krishna and Ram. Their essence proclaims Hare the divine energy, pure and sublime, Krishna the supreme Lord, beyond space and time, Ram the embodiment of Parabrahma's grace, Krishna the ultimate truth in all his embrace. So why do we utter these names so dear? To offer ourselves in loving service clear. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the enlightened guide, teaches us the path where devotion resides. To chant the names and surrender our all. In divine service we heed the call. O Krishna, Radhe, Ram, we implore, engage us in service forevermore. For in this sacred invocation we find a connection to the divine, pure and kind. So behold, this is our humble plea. It does not echo the desires of the material realm, where one implores, O Krishna, O Ram, grant me wealth or grant me the company of women. No, certainly not. This is not the essence of our earnest appeal. Granted, in the nascent stage of spiritual awakening, one may express such yearnings, but they do not encapsulate the essence of Shuddha Bhakti, the purest form of devotion. Pure devotion entails beseeching the Lord for an opportunity to render heartfelt service. My Lord, graciously involve me in your divine service. This, my dear friends, represents the pinnacle of life's fulfillment when one joyfully engages in lovingly serving the Supreme Lord. Beware, for it is possible to become a seemingly great saint residing seclusion, filled with self-importance and indulging in the illusion of one's own greatness. People may flock to witness this ostentatious display with whispers circulating. He cannot be seen for he is deeply immersed in ceaseless chanting. However, my revered Guru Maharaj has unequivocally condemned this mindset. He admonished Mana tumi Kishera Vaishnava. Oh, my dear mind, your concocted notions deceive you into believing that you have become a great Vaishnava, yet you engage in no substantial action, merely assuming a secluded position and mimicking the chanting practices of Haridas Thakur. In truth, you are but a senseless fool. Mana tumi Kisera Vaishnava. Why is this so? It is because you seek recognition and praise, aspiring to gain cheap adoration as a supposed exemplary chanter. For if one truly engages in genuine chanting, why would they be enticed by desires for worldly pleasures and material distractions? If they were genuinely situated like Haridas Thakur, why would they be swayed by such ephemeral allurements? Such displays are nothing but a false pretense. They are unattainable for ordinary individuals. Hence, an ordinary person should always be actively engaged in some form of Krishna conscious activity. This engagement is not mundane, it is transcendental. They should constantly be occupied in the service of Krishna consciousness. Um, we mustn't adopt the mentality of thinking, oh, I have become an erudite scholar and an accomplished Vaishnava. I chant 64 rounds of beads, but my mind wanders towards thoughts of my spouse. Then bidding farewell to Govindji and leaving Vrindavan. Such foolishness should not be followed. Govindji himself drives away such rascals from Vrindavan. Thus, anyone residing in Vrindavan should be deeply concerned about spreading the glories of Vrindavan Chandra throughout the world. That is what is required. We mustn't view Vrindavan Chandra as our personal possession, confining ourselves to one place and selfishly indulging in its sweetness. No, such an attitude is not desired. It is condemned by my Guru Maharaj. The ordinary person, that is not possible. That is also transcendental. Always busy in some business of Krishna consciousness. That is wanted. Not what? Oh, I have become a great scholar and I have now learned how to become a great Vaishnava. I chant 64 rounds and think of my wife somewhere. And then goodbye to Govindji and leave Vrindavan. Uh, so this is not what is required. Huh? So mana tumi kisera Vaishnava. He says, what kind of Vaishnava rascal you are? Nirjane Radhare Pratishtharatare. Simply for cheap adoration, you are living in a secluded place. Tava Harinama Kevala Kaitava. Your chanting of so-called Hare Krishna mantra is simply chanting. He has said one must be ready very vigorously, and that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's also order. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never said that you chant. He has given certainly the chanting, but so far his mission is concerned, he said that every one of you become guru. Jare dekhe tare kah Krishna upadesh Amaragya Guru Haya Tare Desh, and deliver, preach that people understand what is Krishna. Jare dekhe tare kahe Krishna upadesh Amaragya Guru Haya Tare Desh. Prakritiya the Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachar Hai Bhimur Nam. That is his mission. It is not that become a big Vaishnava and sit down and imitate. This is all rascaldom. So don't follow this thing. So at least we cannot advise you in that way. We have learned from our Guru Maharaj that preaching is very, very important thing. And when one is actually an experienced preacher, then he is able to chant the Hare Krishna mantra without any offense. Before that, this so-called chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, you may practice without any offense. And giving up all other business to make a show of a big Vaishnava, that is not required. Thank you very much. So this is the one verse. Now the next verse. Atho pasprushya salilam sandade tat samahita अजान अपि संहारम प्राण कृच्छ उपस्थिते अथ दस उपस्पृश्य touching in sanctity salilam water sandade chanted the hymn tat that samahita being in concentration ajana without knowing api although samharam withdrawal prana kruchre life being put in danger upasthite being placed in such a position. Since his life was in danger, he touched watering sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of the hymns for throwing nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. The subtle form of material activities are finer than grosser methods of material manipulation. The subtle forms of material activities are effected through purification of sound. The same method is adopted here by chanting hymns to act as nuclear weapons. तथा प्रादुष्कृतं तेजा प्रचण्डं सर्वतो दिशं प्राणापदम् अभिप्रेक्ष्य विष्णुर्उवाच तथा thereafter pradushrutam disseminated teja glare prachandam fierce sarvataha all around disham directions prana apadam affecting life abhipreksha having observed it Vishnu unto the Lord Jishnu Arjuna Uvacha said her in the past. Thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjun thought his own life is in danger. So he began to address Lord Shri Krishna. Athau paspurishya salilam Athopasprusha salilam sandade tat samahita ajanan api samharam prana upasthite. Since his life was in danger, he touched water in sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of the hymns for throwing nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. तथा प्रादुष्कृतं तेजः प्रचण्डं सर्वतो दिशम् प्राणापदम् अभिप्रेक्ष्य विष्णुरुवाच. This is the 21st verse. Next verse. Therefore a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjun thought his own life in danger. So he began to address Lord Krishna. अथोपस्पृश्य सलिलं सन्ददे तत्समाहिता अजानपि संहारं प्राणकृच्छ उपस्थिते तथा प्रादुष्कृतं तेजा प्रचण्डं सर्वतो दिशम् प्राणापदम अभिप्रेक्ष विष्णुर्वाच. So the principle of necessity overrides any law. This person called Brahmabandhu possessed the knowledge and skill to create a weapon known as Brahmastra. However, he also understood that this weapon should only be used in extremely rare cases. To illustrate, just like an atomic bomb or a nuclear weapon is not used in minor conflicts, this Brahmastra is also not something to be taken lightly. It is reserved for situations of great magnitude. For instance, your country deployed the nuclear bomb when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor during President Truman's tenure. It was not an ideal circumstance, but precautions were taken. Such lethal weapons should not be used in ordinary circumstances. That is why it is mentioned here that prana krucha upasthite, meaning that Brahma Bandhu recognized that Arjun was determined to kill him with no escape. In a desperate attempt, he utilized his knowledge to unleash the Brahmastra in order to annihilate the opposing side. However, Ajanan api samharam, he was unaware how to retract or neutralize it. In the past, warriors possessed this knowledge. They could deploy a Brahmastra and, if desired, withdraw it. Alternatively, the opposing side had the ability to neutralize it. This was the art of warfare. Unfortunately, he lacked this understanding. Behold another significant point. Athopasprushya salilam. This potent mantra weapon can be produced through the mere touch of water accompanied by the sacred incantation. Similar to the process we follow with the mantra Om Pavitro Pavitro Va Sarvavasthan Gato Piva Yasmare Pundarikaksham Sabaya Vyantara Shuchi. So when we are impure, we chant this mantra, we automatically become pure. We remember Krishna, we become pure. So do not misconstrue this as a mere external ritual devoid of significance. No, it holds profound meaning. To wield the mantra effectively, one must become proficient in its recitation. We, the devotees, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and so did the illustrious Haridas Thakur. Imagine the advanced state he attained. A youthful and alluring prostitute visited him in the dead of night, seeking to engage in worldly pleasures. Yet he gracefully responded, an excellent suggestion. Please be seated while I complete my Hare Krishna mantra. In such an extraordinary self-control feasible for an is such extraordinary self-control feasible for an ordinary individual? No, it is not. It signifies his expertise and spiritual advancement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has counseled, Yaete Sarva Siddhi Haive Sabar, proclaiming, by simply chanting, you shall attain complete success in life. Sarva Siddhi encompassing all achievements. This benediction bestowed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu serves as a divine gift. Therefore, we must exercise utmost caution and adhere to the prescribed regulatory principles. In doing so, perfection shall be attained effortlessly. There exists no room for doubt. Just as a snake charming mantra may be readily acquired from the marketplace, its effectiveness relies upon one's ability to chant it flawlessly. I'll provide you with one practical example. It is not a story, it's a fact. It was recounted, perhaps some of you are aware of my friend, Dr. Ghosh, who came here. He told me about a case that occurred when they were students at Lucknow University. There was a large building where 2 or 3 snake biting incidents took place. So they invited a snake charmer to locate and capture the snake. He arrived and successfully took the snake away. Dr. Ghosh and his classmates, who were medical students, were naturally skeptical as modern scientists and did not believe in such practices. However, they became very curious and decided to visit the snake charmer, who happened to be a gentleman of Muslim faith. The snake charmer anticipated that the medical students had come to witness how snakes are charmed for entertainment. So they inquired, "What is the secret? How are you able to catch a snake without it harming you?" By reciting specific mantras, it could be accomplished. He explained that it was possible through the power of mantras. By reciting specific mantras, it could be accomplished. The students then challenged him, suggesting that the snakes were venomless and unable to bite. They believed that the fangs had been removed. The snake charmer responded, "No, no, they possess everything." To prove this point, he took one snake and demonstrated, "Here is." For amusement, he released many snakes from, from their box, causing them to crawl all over the courtyard. Immediately, the medical students became frightened and started running in various directions. Observing their fear, the charmer reassured them, saying, "Do not be afraid. As long as I am here, they will not harm you." So this is the power. He was able to control the snakes by mantra. So spoke Dr. Ghosh, recounting a personal experience. The potency of the mantra is immense. However, it is not a matter of simply acquiring and reciting the mantra. It requires perfection. There is a process to master the art of chanting the mantra. Likewise, it is not an ordinary worldly mantra. It is a spiritual mantra. I already elucidated this point. The Hare Krishna mantra is a spiritual mantra, not a material one. As I previously explained, it is the treasure of divine love from the spiritual realm of Golok. It is not an ordinary sound vibration like that of a material radio. No, it is spiritual, resonating with the wealth of divine love from Golok. If we sincerely and properly chant the Hare Krishna mantra, free from any offenses, then even a single utterance is sufficient to absolve us from the reactions of all sinful activities. Just once. There is no need to chant it 1,000 times. It is said, by even once chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can eradicate such an abundance of accumulated sinful reactions that not even the most skilled sinner could commit. You see, it is extraordinarily powerful. So if we chant it correctly, following the tenfold rules without any offenses, with a mind devoid of any offenses, the mantra will work. It will work so magnificently that it will establish an eternal connection between you and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such is the power of this mantra. Do not consider it a mere pastime or an inconsequential matter. No, in reality, this mantra is Krishna himself. Uh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, if you are able to constantly be in company of Krishna, just imagine the position you would be in. It is like being near a fire where you remain warm and protected from the cold. Similarly, if we constantly chant the Hare Krishna mantra, we are not in this material world. However, we have the independence to choose whether or not to come back to the material world. To chant the Hare Krishna mantra properly, we must follow the instructions and practice sincerely. The great Vaishnavas like Haridas Thakur had a high numerical goal for their chanting, while others had smaller goals. Rupa Goswami, for instance, wrote many books and therefore did not aim for the same number as Haridas Thakur. We need to have a numerical goal for our chanting as well, but it doesn't need to be excessive. It should be determined according to time, circumstances, and our capacity. While there is no strict limit, it is observed that even chanting 16 rounds can become difficult for some. Therefore, it is important to not imitate others, but to sincerely follow the instructions of our spiritual master without any offenses. This mantra will indeed protect us from the dangers of material illusion, Maya. You see, he created, Ashwatthama created this deadly weapon. It's a material thing. but it's so powerful, like the Brahmastra. He didn't work in a laboratory experimenting with chemicals to make a nuclear weapon. It was just water, you see. Here it says, Atha upasprushya salilam, just like what we do. Om pavitro va sarvabasthan gatopi va yasmare pundarikaksham sabaya abhyantara shuchi. So if we do it properly, it has tremendous potency. Don't think it's childish or just a formality. No, look here. Athopasprushya salilam sandare tat samahita. This is what is needed. Samahita. Being completely absorbed in trance. That is the process. So we need to understand how to attain that state of samahita. Being absorbed in trance. If we treat it as child's play or a mere formality, it will still work, but it will take a long time. However, if we do it properly, we'll quickly achieve success. We can attain success in this very life. We don't have to wait. My Guru Maharaj used to say that although this process is guaranteed, we shouldn't wait for another life. Finish this business in this life. It is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita that even if one falls down prematurely from the path of yoga, yoga brashto abhijayate, shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga brashto vijayate. Even for someone who wasn't successful or who deviated from the path of devotion, there is still a guarantee. Krishna says, Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Vijayate. He is given the opportunity to take birth in a very pious Brahman family, not just any family, but a Shuchinam, a Brahman family, and Shrimatam, a wealthy family. Yoga Brashto Vijayate. Therefore, Narad Muni has said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Yaktva swadharmam charanambujam hare bhajanna pakvotha pate tato yadi yatra kvava bhadram abhud amushyakim kovarthato bhajatam swadharmatam. This verse holds great importance. It conveys that embracing the Krishna consciousness movement requires a sentimental commitment. In our Krishna consciousness movement, young men, boys, and girls like you are participating. Undoubtedly, you were previously engaged in various activities. Perhaps you were students or involved in business endeavors, including the use of LSD. However, you have now relinquished all these engagements. Swadharmam. Previously, each of you had chosen a particular occupation, which is known as Swadharma. Generally, if the occupational system is followed systematically, Swadharma refers to the positions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grasta, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. These are organized categories of Swadharma. Otherwise, everyone must be engaged in some activity. For example, even a thief has chosen the occupation or profession of stealing, which is also considered his Swadharma. However, such a choice lacks a systematic basis and is driven by whimsical motives. Therefore, everyone must have some form of engagement, referred to as Swadharma or their own business occupation. It is synonymous with Swakarma. So, if by any chance someone becomes attracted to this Krishna consciousness movement and decides to give up their profession, whether it's a good one or a bad one, there is no such thing as a good profession in this material world. Everything is flawed. That's the truth. We have created this division saying this is good, this is bad. But it is all just a product of our thoughts and imagination. It holds no real worth because the material world itself is flawed. Let me give you an example I shared many times before. It's like stool with its top and bottom sides. The bottom side is moist while the top side is dry. If someone were to claim, oh, this top side is so pleasant, what nonsense would that be? It's still stool, no matter which side you look at. Why do we forget that the dry side may seem better and the moist side worse? But in the end, it's still stool. In the same vein, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami stated, Dvaite Bhadra Bhadragyan सब मनोधर्म এই ভালো এই মন্দ এই সব ভ্রম এই সব ভ্রম. In the material world, the concept of duality, perceiving things as good or bad, is merely a product of our mental fabrications. It holds no true significance because ultimately this material world itself is inherently imperfect. Regardless of one's expertise in managing material affairs or their worldly success, it is all futile. Success and failure in the material senses, in, success and failure in the material sense are transient and devoid of real value. Furthermore, the suffering of birth, disease, old age, and death are inevitable for all, irrespective of their status or achievements. Unless we rectify our existence and elevate ourselves to a state of pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, this cycle of birth, death, and suffering will persist. Thus, in reality, there is no absolute concept of goodness or badness. Such distinctions are mere illusions. Therefore, in the material world, no matter how proficient we become in our endeavors, be it in business or otherwise, our accomplishments hold no true significance unless we cultivate Krishna consciousness. Success or failure, as pursued within the material realm, are inconsequential. Conversely, if someone driven by sentiment embraces Krishna consciousness and sincerely chants the Hare Krishna mantra for even a short period, their future success is assured. It is indeed a remarkable opportunity. Even if one chants inattentively, success will eventually come, although it may take longer. However, those who chant attentively, following the prescribed rules and regulations, are guaranteed success in this present life. We possess the freedom to make choices, and Krishna always offers us such opportunities. It is my duty as your spiritual master to reiterate the instruction of my own spiritual master. Do not wait for another life, as this is a risky proposition. Even if one is born into a prestigious Brahman or wealthy family, there is a chance of getting spoiled. We have witnessed numerous cases where affluent individuals who have no economic concerns due to their family's vast wealth become corrupted. They fail to recognize the value of their privileged position and engage in indulgent pursuits such as alcohol and illicit relationships. Unfortunately, they lack knowledge, proper guidance, and a bona fide guru. Hence, despite being granted a favorable birth with opulence, they end up ruining themselves. For instance, I often mention the situation in America. People are born into wealthy families in a prosperous nation where scarcity is rare. They should seize this opportunity and not squander their lives due to the abundance of material comforts. They should always remember that their favorable circumstances are bestowed by Krishna's mercy. Americans should feel honored and recognize their responsibility to save their country by embracing the Krishna consciousness movement and enlightening others. This service to the nation will bring both material and spiritual success. Thank you very much. So this is what the lecture given by Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj. Verse number 19 and 20 and 21, they're also completed. We'll cover one more verse today. Arjuna Vacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvam Eko Dayamanana Apavargo hi Sansmrute. Arjuna Vacha, Arjun said, Krishna, O Lord Krishna, Krishna, O Lord Krishna, Mahabhavo, who is the Almighty. Bhaktanam, of the devotees, Abhayankara, eradicating the fears of, Tvam, you, Ekaha, alone, Dayyamananam, those who are suffering from, Apavarga, the path of liberation, Asi, are, Sansmrute, in the midst of material miseries. Arjun said, O my Lord Krishna, O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. Arjuna was aware of the transcendental qualities of Lord Shri Krishna, as he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjuna's version of Lord Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness of the devotees. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of the Lord Sri Krishna. The spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self-realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the hearts, in the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. So, this is the verse, very, very important verse. So, we surrender to Sri Krishna. If we simply surrender to Sri Krishna, then Krishna will protect us from all the dangers. That's why Bhagavan has said in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishami Ma Shuta. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvamekanyamananam Apavargosi Sansmrute. So we'll discuss this verse commentary by Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj tomorrow. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpataruvesya kripa sandhaveta paritanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. जय जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्व विकास गिरधारी श्री राधा विनोद जी की जय जय निकला पृष्ठ जगत गुरु श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज गुरुदेव की जय निकला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय निकला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत त्रिविक्रम गोसाई महाराज की जय निकला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्रीमद भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय निकला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्रीमद गौरगंध गोसाई महाराज की जय निकला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय आचार्य के श्री श्री श्रीमद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय सपरिकर जगत गुरु श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री बासारी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गोवर्धन द्वार सोनात्मक मंडल की जय गंगा जमुना तुलसी भक्त देवी की जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्रव्यूह की जय सर्व विघ्न विनाशन भक्त विघ्न विनाशन नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त दोष प्रहलाद महाराज की जय चारों संप्रदाय की जय चारों आचार्य की जय चारों धामों की जय आकर मठराज चैतन्य मठ की जय केशवजी गौड़िया मठ की जय रुस्लान गौड़िया मठ की जय गिरधारी गौड़िया मठ की जय रमण बिहारी गौड़िया मठ की जय रंगनाथ गौड़िया मठ की श्री दामोदर गौड़िया मठ की जय श्री गोपीनाथ भवन की जय आनंद धाम गौड़िया आश्रम की जय अन्य शाखा मठ समूह की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय त्रिवेणी स्वामी श्री भक्तिवेदांत दंडी महाराज जी की जय नामनिष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्धास प्रभु जी की जय मठेर से कुरुंद की जय बांबा से भक्त वृंद की जय समागत भक्त वृंद पिताय गौर सीता प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि हरे कृष्ण गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः जय हरे कृष्ण।